We call this day Good Friday, but what is so good about it? It is the day in which the weight of all sin is absorbed into the suffering of one person, one body, on a sinner's cross, and that is the body of Jesus. We see brokenness in the body of Jesus on the cross, in the betrayal of Judas, the denial of Peter, the mocking by the soldiers, and the brokenness of ourselves. Who would we be in this story? What brokenness is ours tonight? Where do we see ourselves? These are questions we ask every year, and every year we may find ourselves in a different place. But every year we come back to enter a story anew, to seek some kind of understanding amidst the brokenness, to plunge into the depths of darkness so we might better see the light. The true light that is only given through the death of Jesus Christ. This story we are entering tonight is this. Light has come into the world, but we, the broken, we love the darkness rather than the light. Please stand as you are able and join me in a responsive reading of Psalm 23 and Isaiah 53. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not be in want.
He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul.
He was despised and rejected by mankind, a man of suffering and familiar with pain. Surely he took up our pain and bore our suffering. He was pierced through our transgressions and was crushed for our iniquities. Yet though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Yet we are all like sheep that have gone astray. Each of us have turned to our own way. And the Lord has laid on him the iniquity of us all. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life.
When I survey the wondrous cross on which the Prince of Glory died, my richest gain I count but loss, and pour contempt on all my pride. Forbid it not that I
may be seated.
When he had finished praying, Jesus left with his disciples and crossed the Kidron Valley. On the other side there was a garden, and he and his disciples went into it. Now Judas, who betrayed him, knew the place, because Jesus had often met there with his disciples. So Judas came to the garden, guiding a detachment of soldiers and some officials from the chief priests and Pharisees. They were carrying torches, lanterns, and weapons. Jesus, knowing all that was going to happen to him, went out and asked them,
"Who is it you want?"
"Jesus of Nazareth," they replied.
"I am he."
Judas, the traitor, was standing there and asked them. When Jesus said, "I am he," they drew back and fell to the ground. Again he asked them,
"Who is it you want?"
"Jesus of Nazareth," they said.
"I told you that I am he. If you are looking for me, then let these men go."
Then Simon Peter, who had a sword, drew it and struck the high priest's servant, cutting off his right ear. Jesus commanded Peter,
"Put your sword away. Shall I not drink the cup that the Father has given me?"
Then the soldiers, with its commander and the Jewish officials, arrested Jesus. They bound him and brought him to the high priest. Simon Peter and another disciple were following Jesus. Because this disciple was known to the high priest, he went with Jesus to the high priest's courtyard. But Peter had to wait outside the door. The other disciple, who was known to the high priest, came back, spoke to the servant girl on duty there, and brought Peter in. You aren't one of this man's disciples too, are you?" she asked Peter.
I'm not.
It was cold, and the servants and officials stood around a fire they had made to keep warm. Peter also was standing with them, warming himself. Meanwhile, the high priest questioned Jesus about his disciples and teachings.
"I have spoken openly to the world. I have always taught in synagogues throughout the temple, where all the Jews come together. I have said nothing in secret. Why question me? Ask those who heard me. Surely they know what I said."
When Jesus said this, one of the officials nearby slapped him in the face.
Is this the way that you answer the high priest?
"If I said something wrong, testify as to what is wrong. But if I spoke the truth, why did he strike me?"
Meanwhile, Simon Peter was standing there warming himself. So they asked him, "You aren't one of his disciples too, are you?"
I'm not.
One of the high priest's servants, a relative of the man whose ear Peter had cut off, challenged him. "Didn't I see you in the garden?"
No, I do not know him.
At that moment, a rooster began to crow.
In the morning when I rise, in the morning when I rise, in the morning when I rise, give me Jesus. Give me Jesus. Give me Jesus. You can have all this world. Give me Jesus. And when I am alone, oh, and when I am alone, and when I am alone, give me Jesus. Give me Jesus. Give me Jesus. You can have die. And when I come to die, give me Jesus. Give me Jesus. Give me Jesus. You can have all this world. You can have all this world. You can have all this world. Give me Jesus.
Then the Jewish leaders took Jesus to the palace of the Roman governor. By now it was early morning, so Pilate came out to them and asked,
What charges are you bringing against this man?
"If he were not a criminal," they replied, "we would not have handed him over to you."
Take him yourselves and judge him by your own law.
"But we have no right to execute anyone," they objected. This took place to fulfill what Jesus had said about the kind of death he was going to die. Pilate then went back inside the palace, summoned Jesus and asked him,
Are you the king of the Jews?
Is that your own idea? Or did others talk to me about you?
Am I a Jew? Your own people and chief priests handed you over to me. What is it you have done?
My kingdom is not of this world. If it were, my servants would fight to prevent my arrest by the Jewish leaders. But now my kingdom is from another place.
You are a king then.
You say that I am a king. In fact, the reason I was born and came into this world is to testify to the truth. Everyone on the side of truth listens to me.
What is truth?
With this, he went out again to the Jews gathered there and said,
I find no basis for a charge against him, but it is your own custom for me to release to you one prisoner at the time of Passover. Do you want me to release the king of the Jews?
But they shouted back, "No, not him. Give us Barabbas." Then Pilate took Jesus back, and they had him flogged. The soldiers twisted together a crown of thorns and put it on his head. They clothed him in a purple robe and went up to him again and again, saying, "Hail, King of the Jews!" And they slapped him in the face. Once more Pilate came out and said to the Jews gathered there,
Look, I am bringing him out to you to let you know that I find no basis for a charge against him.
Then Jesus came out wearing the crown of thorns and the purple robe. As soon as the chief priests and their officials saw him, they shouted, "Crucify, crucify!" But Pilate answered,
You may take him to crucify him. As for me, I find no basis for a charge against him.
The Jewish leaders insisted, "We have a law, and according to that law, he must die, because he claimed to be the Son of God." When Pilate heard this, he brought Jesus out and sat down on the judge's seat. It was the day of preparation for the Passover. It was about noon.
Here is your king.
But they shouted, "Take him away, crucify him."
Shall I crucify your king?
"We have no king but Caesar," the chief priest answered. Finally, Pilate handed him over to them to be crucified. So the soldiers took charge of Jesus, carrying his own cross. He went out to the place of the skull, which in Aramaic is called Golgotha. There they crucified him, and with two others, one on each side and Jesus in the middle. Pilate had a notice prepared and fastened to the cross. It read, "Jesus of Nazareth, the King of the Jews." When the soldiers crucified Jesus, they took his clothes, dividing them into 4 shares, one for each of them, with the undergarment remaining.
Your name
is cursed, and my name is praised. But it wasn't always this way. The world was waiting for you, the prophesied one, the one Micah predicted in Bethlehem come. King David named you Lord 1,000 years before this day, which is why I find it odd that your name is cursed and my name is praised. You're the image bearer of Isaac, following his father. You're the one Isaiah saw as a lamb led to the slaughter. The psalmist called you a stone rejected by the builders, and Jeremiah knew you'd be betrayed for 30 coins of silver. So how did you not know that this would be the end? Did you not know your betrayer would be a friend? It's always a surprise who will backstab us. I should know, because your name is Jesus, and my name is Barabbas. Yes, I heard about you. You're that teacher the Pharisees despise. You tell the blind to go in peace right after you open their eyes. You command demons to come out. You heal the crippled and the deaf. The lepers shout your name. You told Lazarus to wake from death. But if you're so powerful, then why are you on that tree? Why am I the criminal on this hillside standing free? Why didn't you speak up? Where was all of heaven's dissent? We all know my name was guilty and your name innocent. Those should have been my chains. That should have been my robe. Now your name is crucify and my name is let him go. That was my flogging, my beating, my skin. But now your name is death row and my name is forgiven. That was my spit, my ridicule, my gasp, my worry. That was my Via Dolorosa and my burden that you carried. Those were my thorns. That was meant to be my crown. It should have been my blood that was dripping on the ground. Those were my nails, my wrists in wretched perforation. Those were my desperate lungs resisting suffocation. That was my punishment, my wrath, my justice on display. Do you see? My name is debt and your name is paid. Who are you, Jesus? To sacrifice for liars, for cheaters, for the rotten, for thieves, for a good man one might die. But then, why would you die for me? Do you not see my anger, my wickedness and malice? I know your name is Jesus, but do you know my name's Barabbas? Are you a friend of sinners? Why invite me to your table? Do you know I was a murderer? I am Cain, you are Abel. Are you the Father run to meet me? Because I am prodigal, unworthy, my name is undeserving, but your name must be mercy. I am Gomer, unfaithful, but you still call me bride. I am one who ran away. Your name is Leave the 99. My name is fatherless, abandoned. Your name is Welcome Home. In a world of dreadful kings, you're the king who left his throne. Do you not see? This is a scandal. How reckless could you be? That was my mocking you endured. That was my place on Calvary. That was my spear that stuck into your side. That was my sorrow, my grief, my suffering in your eyes. Years of my rebellion, years of condemnation. Who are you to hang there bearing my humiliation? That was my sin, my shame, my payment, my cost. You took what I deserved. Jesus, that was my cross. And even if I doubted, never followed you, you humbled yourself into death, followed through, taking up my cross, brutal and rugged, because your name is love. And my name is Beloved.
You can stand as you're able for this song. Oh, sacred head now wounded, with grief and shame weighed down, now scornfully surrounded, with thorns the lonely crown. Oh, sacred head, what glory, what bliss till now was thine. Yet though despised and glory, I joy to call thee mine. What thou, my Lord, hast suffered was all for sinners' gain. Mine was the transgression, but thine the deadly pain. Lo, here I found my Savior, 'tis I deserve thy praise. Look on me with thy favor, and grant me to thy grace. What language shall I borrow to thank thee, dearest friend, for this thy dying sorrow, thy pity without end? Oh, make me thine forever, and should I faint in thee, Lord, let me never, never outlive my love to thee. The joy can never be spoken, above all joys beside, when in thy body broken, I thus with safety hide. O Lord of life desiring, thy glory now to see, beside thy cross expiring, I'd breathe my soul to thee.
You may be seated.
Two others, who were criminals, were led away to be put to death with him. And when they came to the place that is called the skull,
There they crucified him, and the criminals, one on his right and one on his left. And Jesus said,
Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do.
and they cast lots to divide his garments. And the people stood by watching, but the rulers scoffed at him, saying, He saved others, let him save himself. If he is the Christ of God, his chosen one. The soldiers also mocked him, coming up and offering him sour wine, and saying, If you are the king of the Jews, save yourself. There was also an inscription over him, This is the King of the Jews. Forgiveness is something we want when we are in the wrong, but we struggle to give it when someone has wronged us. Rather than forgive, we turn to anger, revenge, hurtful words, spiteful thoughts, or resentful actions, even for the smallest slight against us. Jesus' radical instructions are to love our enemies, pray for those who persecute us, and forgive, no matter how often we have been wronged. Jesus modeled this forgiveness after being beaten, whipped, mocked, spat on, and nailed to the cross. Jesus asked his followers to forgive them because they do not know what they are doing. Please take a moment of silence to reflect on the forgiveness that Jesus offers to all of us, even in the midst of his suffering.
One of the criminals who were hanged railed at Jesus, saying, Are you not the Christ? Save yourself and us. But the other rebuked him, saying, Do you not fear God, since you are under the same sentence of condemnation? And we indeed justly, for we are receiving the due reward of our deeds. But this man has done nothing wrong. And he said, Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. And he said to him,
Truly I say to you, today you will be with me in paradise.
Criminals who were being crucified on either side of Jesus, they deserved to be there. They were getting exactly what they deserved, unlike Jesus. That criminal did not pray the sinner's prayer, did not go to church, did not attend a Bible study, did not get baptized, did not memorize Bible verses. God worked in him to call out Jesus for salvation. The same amazing grace given to this criminal from Jesus is the same amazing grace afforded to you, to me, and to others, as Christ hung on that cross. He granted salvation to anyone who came to him for it. Please take a moment of silence to reflect on the amazing grace and salvation that Jesus offers you.
But standing by the cross of Jesus were his mother and his mother's sister, Mary the wife of Clopas, and Mary Magdalene. When Jesus saw his mother and the disciples, whom he loved, standing nearby, he said to his mother,
Woman, behold your son.
Then he said to the disciple,
Behold your mother.
And from that hour the disciple looked at her to his own home. There were several women that were part of Jesus' ministry, and many of them stayed while Jesus hung on the cross, including his mother Mary. Imagine Mary, the mother of Jesus, watching her son die a horrible death, filled with suffering and anguish. Imagine the pain, grief, tears, and screams. Even while he was suffering on the cross, Jesus knew that someone would need to look after his earthly mother. So he tended to the needs of those who would be left behind by placing his mother in the care of one of his closest friends, John. Jesus invites you to be in a relationship with him, one where you too will never be left alone, but given the presence of the Holy Spirit to always be with you, care for you, and guide you. Please take a moment of silence to reflect on the invitation that Jesus offers you to be in a relationship with him.
small. Child of weakness, watch and pray. Find in me thine all in all. Jesus paid it all to him I owe. Sin had left a crimson stain, he washed it white as snow. On a hill far away stood an old rugged cross, the emblem of suffering and shame. And I love that old cross, where the dearest and best for a world of lost sinners was slain. So I'll cherish the old rugged cross, till my trophies at last I lay down. I will cling to the old rugged cross and exchange it someday for a crown. And when before the throne I stand in him complete, Jesus died my soul to save, my lips shall still repeat, Jesus paid it all to him I owe. Sin had left a crimson stain, he washed it white as snow. So I'll cherish the old rugged cross, till my trophies at last I lay down. I will cling to the old rugged cross and exchange it someday for a crown. Sin had left a crimson stain, he washed it white as snow.
And they crucified him. They divided his garments along them by casting lots. Then they sat down and kept watch over him there. And those who passed by dreaded him, wagging their heads and saying, "You who would destroy the temple and rebuild it in 3 days, save yourself. If you are the Son of God, come down from the cross." So also the chief priests with the scribes and elders mocked him, saying, "He saved others. He cannot save himself. He is the King of Israel. Let him come down now from the cross. And we will believe in him. He trusts in God. Let God deliver him now, if he desires him, for he said, 'I am the Son of God.'" Now from the 6th hour there was darkness over all the land until the 9th hour. And about the 9th hour Jesus cried out with a loud voice, saying,
Eli, Eli, lema sabachthani.
That is,
My God, why have you forsaken me?
Jesus has been abandoned by his disciples, and in this moment he cries out a plea from Psalm 22. Jesus bears the punishment for all the sins ever committed by his people, past, present, and future. And here he experiences the Father's wrath and abandonment. It is both a human and divine outcrying of Christ. His earthly relationships have abandoned him, and his divine eternal nature is experiencing separation from his Holy Father. Please take a moment of silence to reflect on the depth of Jesus' isolation and abandonment in order to bear the sin of the whole world.
After this, Jesus, knowing that all was now finished, said to fulfill the scripture,
I thirst.
A jar full of sour wine stood there. So they put a sponge full of the sour wine on a hyssop and held it to his mouth. When Jesus had received the sour wine, he said,
It is finished.
And he bowed his head and gave up his spirit. As Jesus hangs on the cross, the instrument of torture and death, his body weakening, he calls out for the most basic element we need for survival, a drink. His mouth is parched, tongue swollen, throat raspy. Water would keep him alive just a few moments longer. The irony of this moment is that Jesus himself provides us with the living water, that whoever receives him will never thirst again. In these final moments, he calls out in thirst and then says, It is finished. The work is complete. The purpose for which Christ came is fulfilled. Christ has redeemed people from their sins through his death. Perhaps the question is it finished? Please take a moment of silence to reflect on the completion of Jesus' earthly mission and the offer of salvation that he offers you today.
You need not say goodbye. The people will shout my name. Pilate will tell them there's nothing I've done to deserve this, but they will refuse. Pilate will stand me beside Barabbas, a murderer, and they will choose him over me. Pilate will appeal to the priest, insist on simply whipping me to appease their fury. But they will shout it louder, Crucify, crucify. But still, you need not say goodbye. My hands will be tied to a post. The sound of the whip will ring in your ears and in your chest. The soldiers will peel the skin off my back. A ring of thorny branches will be pressed into my scalp until the blood runs into my eyes. Oh, but listen. You need not say goodbye. I will carry that cross. I will go to the place of the skull, and there they will drive the iron stakes between the bones in my wrist. With a hammer, they will nail my feet into the tree. I will be raised up as the world waits for me to die. Nevertheless, you need not say goodbye. Between two thieves I will hang. You may hear me speaking to my Father, your Father. You may hear me ask him, why? But child, you need not say goodbye. What you won't see, what you won't hear, what you won't know until all of this is done is that in that moment, I was paying the penalty of your wrongdoing, every mistake, Every act of envy, every word of hatred, every moment of violence and greed and spite, every selfish desire, every lustful thought, every moment of weakness and weariness, all the failures of human history will be in my hands and on my head. On that cross, I will suffer the wrath that was destined for you. Every guilty verdict fallen on me. Your punishment will be paid for in my blood, and it will be enough. I will die on your cross. I will let out a final sigh. Know that I have loved you, and you need not say goodbye.
It was now about the 6th hour, and there was darkness over the whole land until the 9th hour, while the sun's light failed, and the curtain of the temple was torn in two. Then Jesus, calling out with a loud voice, said,
Father, into your hands I commit my spirit.
And having said this, he breathed his last.
Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they nailed him to the tree? Were you there when they nailed him to the tree? Sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they nailed him to the tree? Were you there tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Were you there when they crucified my